so I'm back, but the sound glitch is still there. Honestly, there's not much I can really do. It's a replay. It's not my game. If the replay went bad, that's my fault. But we'll stay overhead above the battlefield, so that way it won't be too big of a deal that there's literally no sound. Because while you can hear the marching, you just can't hear the gunshots, which is half the game. But I've tried to fix this replay several times. It's not going to work, but I'm also not going to back off of the replay because I think there's good tactical things to talk about. So just bear with me, and hey, at least you can hear my voice. My voice is going to be carrying us through most of the battle. Also, if you notice, I have upgraded the graphics on the units themselves a little bit because I felt that was a little more fair. Wow, this replay is just garbage. I don't know who sent it in, but the sound quality on this replay is not good. So anyway, looks like the Austrians and the Russians are going to be forming up about here, kind of behind the building. The French certainly have control of the buildings and will, of course, be able to win if they're able to hold the line. We do have British forces here now moving up, opening fire on the French, who are positioned, although not the best. You know, I mean, if you look, you got some of these flanking chasseurs over here. Oh, there's some sound. Ah, coming back. Aha! It was maybe just that one Russian unit. Yeah, maybe it's on and off, I guess. So we have some foot guards over here. So the British are in fact holding the line. Yeah, there we go. Musket fire. Thank goodness. I was about to say, it's really sad if the replay just had no musket fire at all. It's been that one bit of the replay. Anyway, so looks like we're gonna have pretty much a standstill here. Again, with a little bit of fighting back and forth of a line. In terms of quality of units and opening fire, it looks like the British might have more guns shooting, so it might mean they might kill French a little bit faster, but that's hard to tell. Of course, you have the French here lining up, or maybe they're Prussian. Actually, this might be the Prussians. Yeah, so the Prussians are lining up, the French kind of falling back. Even this artillery seems to be kind of changing positions. Maybe I don't know if they can see each other, actually. This force might be blocking line of sight, but whoa, we got some columns of French troops moving up here, getting ready to deal with this. Well, no, that's their cav. That's French cav. Okay, it's pretty good. And as you can see, things are starting to even out now. It is going to be an uphill battle for the Prussians, I believe. It's these Second-E chasseurs are here holding the road, and these light infantry actually doing a good job opening fire on the line infantry of the English. Not really. Oh, well, actually, no, they're responding. They're returning fire, so pretty good, I suppose. Pretty good. And, yep, troops now moving up here. Looks like everything's going to be pretty smooth for the most part. Got some shots here from the Prussians now, the Prussian musketeers, opening fire on the French, who are currently repositioning. Although I don't think these are the best quality of musketeers. Generally, the more troops in a unit, the worse the quality is, for the most part. And we do see that this artillery has arrived, but it's not unlimbered, so it's missing out on some awesome canister shot potential that it could have here. Mainly because these are definitely Prussian. Yeah, these are Prussians. That artillery was set up for canister. Even with the trees blocking, you can get some good kills. So I don't know what the French player's doing over here. Probably a little bit of mismicro. Now he's finally unlimbering. Should have set. Hopefully they're set to canister, and everything will be fine. Obviously on the Austrian and Russian flank, they're slowly pushing up. Now these cannons are in position. Maybe we can get a good cannon shot here. Yeah, and hopefully on the high graphics for the troops, they look a little better. There, everything looks a little smoother. Opening fire now. And let's check out the damage. Does that do any good hits here? Maybe killing a couple men, not really doing a whole lot of damage. Again, artillery, unless you're doing like close combat stuff, I don't think they're really going to be a huge factor in this game. Especially considering how much more line infantry you can bring to the battle now. The artillery alone is not as effective. And again, just holding line. Oh, looks like the French are actually advancing now. Getting into position. We'll eat that volley, but you know what? I think it'll be okay. These troops seem like they're fairly elite, so should get some good shots. Yeah, good shots, yeah. Even if they're not really killing a whole lot. You want to be in a good position. Now, what's interesting is that these units here, you'll notice they're using civilian to kind of angle themselves away. So that way, these units here that are shooting, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, are not really getting a good line of sight. So not really the best. Now, the Austrians are moving up, and they are able to outflank if this cavalry isn't able to hold position. Now, the question is, can they square? Some of them can. Again, there is going to be some prime charge potential. But the Austrians, actually, I do think they have the upper hand here. France choosing to not be aggressive with some of his men. Maybe, I mean, I understand why, but I feel like, yeah, see, look, France has these reserve troops. They should be moving over here. You're going to get outflanked. You don't want to get outflanked in Napoleon. That's the quickest way to lose. You also don't need 2 troops in this building, even if they are both grenadiers. That's not really going to help you as much. Oh, hold up.
Yes, sir.
Let me jump over here to this part of the battlefield. Looks like I hear charging, so what's up, if we can find it. Oh yeah, cavalry. Cavalry engagement over here. Looks like the Prussian cav is getting charged by some French cav. The French cav are ultimately going to be routing away. Again, these trees make it hard to know who's standing where. Looks like we have some French troops not really in combat. Yeah, they're not in combat. They're just taking damage. But now we do see them finally pushing forward here. So hopefully we are going to get some much better shots. Here, got a nice forest battle for you. That's always fun. Let's kind of go ahead and fly over here. Yeah, got those nice Prussian lines opening fire on those French. The French, of course, returning the gunshots. All pretty smooth. I like these units. They look pretty cool. Prussian units, I think, are a little underrated. I think they're pretty darn cool looking units. Woo! Yeah! That's what's up. That's how you do it. And looks like, actually, the French forces are actually moving up into position here to get possibly an angle on them. Although we do see, actually, here from the French, a little bit of a surround. If you zoom in. I hate having to zoom in with all these trees, though. We are getting a flank. We do see some musketry trying to block off this line, but if you notice, they're not even really lined up, and yeah, they are making the correct choice. Prussian players now falling back. That is definitely what you want to be doing. Over here in the center here, there's a lot of battle. We're not going to cover everything. We do have this artillery here. I don't know if they're firing canister or not, but they should be firing canister right at these lines. Good, juicy Prussian lines. Whatever those guys are. Not really worth it. You see the French are in a bit of a battle here with the Prussians on this side. Again in the woods. Lots of woods combat. Over here, is there any progress being made? No, not really. Austrians finally pushing forward. I think it's interesting. Maybe it's because of fog. Oh, no, they are. The Austrians are still pushing forward. These guys need to push faster. Those guys can't form square, but this N1 can. So as long as you got this cav nearby, you should be able to wrap around pretty well. Because since they weren't wrapping around in time, now these French troops are going to be able to kind of plug up that hole. So a little bit of maybe lack of speed, of course. Not saying the Austrian player even knew this was happening, but maybe just a little bit more speed on moving up, especially since there's a square unit and cavalry. As long as the cavalry stays in front of those infantry units, I don't think it'll be much of a problem. Now up on this hill, you notice not really good shots getting made. Not really good shots. People are still going to get hit though, because that's fully works, but it's not nearly going to be as good of shots. Now over here, we got more of a traditional line battle here. Got the French again still opening fire quite well. Doing a very good job. Of course, we have the Austrian lines here. It's going to be pretty. I think this is a pretty even battle, to be honest. Pretty even fight. You know, lots of troops in position here. It's a good shot. Oh, moving up now. This could be fun. Are the French reforming? I don't know. What are they doing? They're not reforming. Oh, they are reforming a little. They're getting into position. Getting a little closer. We should have some good volleys here, I think. Right? Maybe some good volleys? Maybe not. Well, there's certainly gunshots going on over there, but again, not too much happening. Oh, wait. I want to see a good Austrian. Oh, I'm trying to get a good Austrian volley here, but maybe we're not going to see that. Yeah, I think these guys might just take it, because the French backed up, so we guess a stalemate here, not a big deal. Again, these units are opening fire, but again, like I mentioned before, these units, they kind of have an angle, but I don't think it's that good. If these guys have an angle, then that means the French have a better angle. I feel like the Austrians just need to push up a little more onto the top of this hill, bring these Russian troops over to support. Unless actually they might be leaving the gap with the artillery. No, the artillery's over here now. They're not trying to blow up the building though, because you can't blow up the buildings in LOC, I believe. If you can, that would kind of change the entire way I look at the game. Blow up a bunch of buildings except for buildings that you own and win like that. So there's a way. Oh, I really like how there's these stakes here behind the the stakes that are in front of the artillery help prevent the cav charge. So the British are doing a good job of the 2nd Battalion. I don't know how good they are. I believe they're fairly good, but they're not able to form squares. So you could see actually a pretty, it wouldn't be even a half bad idea to send cavalry around here through the 2nd Battalion, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, I hear some, possibly some charging. Is that a Russian charge? Oh no, it's cavalry. Cavalry charging down the right. Yep, like I said, there was a gap.
Our men are running, sir.
However, I think this French cavalry push is a little ill-timed. I don't think this cav push is going to do as much as I thought, especially since they're not really supporting it. Yeah, there's the rest of the cav. I think he needed to do a cav flank around with all this scatter because the troops are able to form a square. Yeah, this side cav charge is going to be pretty rough, but then a counter cav charge to attack the counter cav charge coming in right now. Lots of cav. Again, this French cav getting stuck on the square. That square is doing a very good job. Might even... Now these troops can't form a square. Alright. Again, I'd push up, take advantage of this. Yep, Russians are charging in. The French cannot necessarily form a square as well as the Russians and the Austrians, so might be worth it to go ahead and send cav running down the lines as well while all this cav is happening. Now I understand you guys can cav to the front, but right now you're charging cav into a square, so it's probably not going to be a win for the Austrians. And look, see, now we have breaking forces over here, probably due to the lack of either a lack of friction or lack of good cav on the French lines. Now that we have a charging in on these Austrian forces, they are going to be having some trouble here now with these other troops here being able to get good shots up on the Austrians. I think the French are really commanding this battle now. Even though the Austrians are trying to flank around here, it's not really going to do what you know, it's not going to be as useful anymore because the Austrians were too slow. That's why he needs to study of Russia. And you'll notice, look, the Russian player, he's not even helping. He's not even trying to advance, and he could easily, actually, the Russian player flank around. Yeah, I know he has cav, but you know, this Austrian player is now breaking completely. And now we have more Austrian cav, or more French cav coming through the middle right now. They're going to be able to help out. Although they're going to stop by their own men, charging into the back of their own square. Yep, they should turn around, go for that artillery piece. That artillery piece is not even unlimbered. So not even necessarily the biggest priority target. Maybe just sweeping out in order to get a better surround on that Austrian cav. Then of course we do have the line infantry still opening fire. Really good setup here from the French. You know, gets good shots. Not sure why the Austrian square is not opening fire. They should have good range, and that's the range on the square has been reduced for some reason. They should have been in range.
Our men are running,
I would even keep them in a square possibly, but they're going to fall back. Again, these units of French are actually, you know, they're fairly weak here. You could see, assuming the Austrians, yeah, see, one unit's breaking. That's exactly what I thought. The Austrians, if they get this around, they can come back and turn it on the French. But I think the Austrian players lost too many men now. I don't think even surrounding is going to do much. There was a nice cav charge here apparently from the Austrian cav, doing a fair bit of work, but I think, well, actually they can't form square. This is a pretty good cav charge.
Our men are running, sir.
I think that's the general actually. The general now moving in to charge the, what is that? Maybe that's even the Austrian general. No, it might be. I think it is. Yeah, that's the Austrian general. So general v general here going on. But again, see exactly the French cavalry in the back here going to disrupt those lines. The lines push forward. That's exactly what the Austrians needed to do, but they just weren't doing it. Yep, they're just backing up. They don't even need to advance. They can just wait around for these troops to move. Because Russia's being super duper slow. Russia's not really being a very good ally to the Austrian player now, because the French are now able to surround. And as soon as this Austrian player is wiped out, all these forces are going to turn around on those Russians. The Russians are bringing in, of course, some cavalry, however, to help out. Maybe this is even a general unit. Although I don't think so. Alright, so I do see a charge coming onto those cavalry. If these troops form square, they should be forming square. Otherwise, they're going to take a nasty cav charge. Yep, there goes the square. The Russian player might not see it, and he does not see it at all. So he's going to charge those troops into a square. We're just going to
our men are running, sir.
And we do see that the French troops are now lining up. They're just going to skirmish off with them. Again, I don't think that's the French player. Ew, this is actually disgusting. Okay, the French player really needs to reform. There we go. Reforming those lines, getting them ready to really just wipe them out. This is a horrible formation. We do even have French troops returning. Troops need to hurry up and come back into the battle. I get it. You can forget about routing troops sometimes. I'm not really upset about that. It's something that's critical for those troops. And this is all just on one side of the battle. I'm just going to double check on this side, see how it's going. Oh my god, actually, never mind. This is actually also important. The French player, I guess, might have been charged by the British player. This is the French player charging the British player. We're looking at it from a weird angle here. Okay, so if this is the... I'm doing this side. So it looks like the French player did try and charge the British, but the British were able to hold the line here. Nothing too crazy. We do see that the Prussians are now being surrounded. The French player is getting some good shots on this this player, the Prussian player here. Prussians are taking a bit of damage, but there's a Prussian cav charge. Are they charging units that cannot form square? They are. Looks like this will be a successful charge. It's a little bit of a slow one. However, with this, these gunshots, I think might help out. These units are facing backwards. They're not going to open fire. They should really be moving these units. Nope, they're shooting actually. They're in range to open fire here. So I think this Prussian cav thing will actually be successful, considering how broken this formation is. Anyway, get back over to the crazy intense action side of the battle. Again, lots of French troops opening fire now. Going to be doing a good job of taking out these Austrians. So the real question is, you know, what's going on over here on the Russian flank? Because we do see it. There is cavalry coming onto the Russian lines. Backing up here, we do have the French going in for a surround. Yep, exactly what I mentioned. The French are just going to run down the lines of the Russians. It doesn't matter how good Russians are in melee. If they're getting a rear attack from a capture while being shot at, that's not going to be good. I don't care what nation you are. And then France, of course, being able to hold the line here, not quite as intense. Got a big melee skirmish here going on right now. The Russians moving around, trying to do their best to hold the line, opening fire now. And now the Russians are falling back. And unfortunate choice. Russians might want to kind of hang out in this area, but it's not looking good. This overwhelming tide of French is going to be really helpful. Looks like there's bayonet over here from the French actually. Got 2 units. They're going for a countercharge. They're going to get shot at pretty hard. That'll really demoralize them. Yep, that's what I thought. Looks like the units are coming back slowly. This one unit of Austrians might actually do a good job against these French forces, but it's not going to matter as the Austrians are in fact falling back. So as soon as like I said, as soon as the Austrians clear out, looks like there'll be a huge door swinging in on the British. The British really need to try and win their side. Speaking of the British, let's go ahead and see. Are the British winning their side of the battle? Well, in this melee, it looks like they actually are. I don't know if they form square or not, but they should at least try and hit the button. Because who knows how the cav might go in and out of engaging. We have a lot of cav here in battle, fighting the British cav. Might be a fairly even fight, although I give it to the British maybe in that particular instance. While it is in fact the Prussians who are giving support to this little cav battle. Yep, as I thought, the French cav is routing right now. Again, the British very hard to beat because they can form square and they have good morale. British, versus France, that classic battle. So I'm not even surprised. But however, as these Austrians are kind of being slow to regroup here. Kind of getting charged. Oh, look at that! Even looks like I think that might be the French general, maybe. Is that the French general? I don't think so. Actually, some Allied generals have been killed. So, French generals who sent in from the French player, of course. Playing spacebar. See, lining up some troops, going to open fire. This could be a nice volley. Very nice volley. And how will the Russians respond? If they will respond, they might not. They might just run in. So yeah, I think it's pretty definitive who's won this flank. And how's it going on this line battle? Oh, looks like the Prussians are actually pushing the French back. So a little bit of a trading, perhaps. You could see a big, line up in the middle. As you can see, the French player is just hauling butt, trying to get away. But the Prussian player is in fact going to be lining up all along this right flank. Should get some good shots off while the French player does try to retreat. Get some good Russian volleys here. You gonna shoot? Did I look at the wrong unit to shoot? Perhaps I thought too much of them. I'm not getting shots off. Anyway, looks like the Prussian player is in fact reforming. Again, these French units are going to get good shots for sure because they have a really good angle. On the French, this is exactly how you want to shoot at the French. Yep, boom. Get those shots off. Very excellent indeed. Again, the English are kind of winning in the middle. Still anyone's game here, actually. I think the Battle of Power, keeping it pretty even. If they are playing for points, however, this is not going to be even because this is a 4-point building over here. And it's presumed that the French, since I assume this is not a tournament battle, the French will have control of the 4-point over here. So then really the other parts of the battlefield won't matter as much. So I think that's why why the Russian player is falling back to the town back here to at least try and hold their 4-pointer. So that way, while they can wait for the Prussian player to try and win on this right flank. Because as you can see, the Prussian player is actually doing a very good job pushing forward. Maybe not in the most efficient manner, because actually no, they are walking. Okay, good, they're just walking. You shouldn't be running any of your men. These troops are about to line up. I want to see a good volley from them. Please. Second time I've looked at this unit. Alright.
We have killed.
Yeah, good.
Now they must break.
Good Prussian volley. Oh, it looks like some generals are dying. Let's see where this general is. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Oh, looks like there was some French, just infantry actually. They must have routed and come back to the battlefield. And they can form squares, so that cavalry is not actually a threat to them. So that's something to point out. Now the French are kind of, their lines are thinning here. They're not very good. The Prussians kind of have thicker lines, so I could easily see the Prussians taking over the center of the French and actually break them in half. So I think the game, well, it does look in favor of the French because they've won this flank. There isn't really that many healthy units left, especially if they still have to deal with all these Russians. We could easily turn around and hold the line here. As you can see, we are halfway through the battle now, about half an hour remaining left on this fight. But that's assuming it even goes that long. Because again, like I said, the Prussians moving in to attack the French forces. Now the French are just in the trees. I think that'll help them defensively pretty well. But oh, this is kind of a weird engagement. These units are not lined up in good position. Not many units of them are actually firing. So that will be a French win if they don't move. And then these units are really low on morale here. Not again, they have lost more than half their unit, but they still have a double rank thick line. So yeah, I don't think it'll be quite over for them yet. Especially since the French troops are actually reforming to kind of fall in line, kind of help hold it again. I don't know that I'd really enjoy it before. It's not something I want to do. And look, the French are now breaking in the middle, like I said, because I figured would happen because their lines are really thin. Also because the Prussians stop holding them. And look at that, the Prussians actually going to go ahead and rout those French units in the back. They didn't form square, so that's going to be the main cause. Ooh, this artillery is really
Our
close.
brave ally has fallen,
Hold up, let's
sir.
see a good canister shot. Oh, whoa. That was incredible. Look at how many people were just shot instantly. Yep, that's going to rout that unit. But we do have a cav charge, that'll pretty much end the guns right there. That should kill off the cannon crew. Yep. That'll be it, silencing them, going after this cav. We've got a nice little cav battle. Cav battle's being less common now, so take a look at that. It should go in favor of the French because they have lancers for that charge. And we do see the steady line battle. I think the Prussians can still win in the middle. And the British, oh shoot, actually, now hold on a second. The British player is actually flanking around the French now. Going to envelop them, so as if anything, the Russian player is doing a great job in stalling, so that way the British can actually, win on the middle. So this is going to be really cool. Actually, even a charge from the British would not be bad. However, there's nothing wrong with lining up British your forces. I don't even know if the French player notices him getting surrounded. Oh, there he does. There's a charge of men right there. However, I don't think that is going to be enough. Yeah. Oh, and then the first foot guards coming in to defend that. What is this next unit of French forces going to do? They may as well get their shots in while they can. But it looks like they've just incited the British to do a charge and completely get around the French. So looks like the French are sending over troops to deal with this. But these are healthy British forces. So much of the depleted, almost shattered French units that are moving around. Oh, what's this? I think I missed something here. The Prussian player is completely falling back actually on this side now. Looks like the French were able to win it with their cavalry. Again, like I mentioned before, one cav charge can change the entire course of the battle. Now the French player is now charging. Getting ready. But let's take a look at how this battle is going on over here on the British side, because we do have another charge here. Into the backs of the French. They just got Napoleon, so they're not prepared at all to deal with this melee charge. This one unit of British 73rd Foot is going to do a good job. And over here again, it's just pushing. I'm not really watching this part because I think we pretty much know what's going to happen here. The French are surrounding. I'd say if you're Russia, you want to get into that building as quick as you can.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get inside that building, and you want to just hold it as long as possible. So actually, this battle might come down to the British. Because the British are now opening fire on this house here in the middle. And this house only being worth 1 point. Maybe you want to send those troops, British troops here, to push down the road, and maybe even go up and take this one. Now, it looks like this 73rd unit is in fact moving up to go ahead and go take this building over here, the 4-pointer. So, it looks like maybe they are playing for you have to have a unit into those to counter points, which is fine. This unit, looks like this unit is actually opening fire on them. So this is, again, part of the debate. When you guys are watching this, feel free to comment down below what you think. Is it better to attack a unit that's in a building by charging into the building or by shooting at the building? Because you see, these British forces are running. So that's not something that you really want to have happening right now. So it looks like the British player is actually going to be falling back to go ahead and help support maybe himself, I suppose, over here. So we can try and get us surrounded. Maybe help the Prussian player. This Prussian player is not doing too good. We've got Prussians falling back. They're trying to form up, but that might not be enough. Oh, it's going to be close here. That is, in fact, I think a French general, I believe. Yep, that is a French general, so they got to be careful how they use it. The French general breaking. And then we got another side Prussian. I wouldn't have really formed. I would have just shot. This is not going to be good. Now they've wasted a volley. Now they've been forced into melee. If they hadn't moved, it would have been fine. Now, as you can see, the British player is now moving over. England, my favorite faction. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at playing as England. And of course, French forces opening fire on the British. And yeah, it looks like a big mass rout from the Prussians. We do have some Prussian forces over here.
Building,
are they actually moving? Let me see. No, they're not moving. So, Prussian player not really noticing that. Again, not a big deal. Even I forget units that have routed and come back, because generally if they've routed, I presume them to be dead. Now, the English pretty much going to be the last stand here, because I think we can pretty much guarantee that. Well, actually, no. Well, I don't know. The Russian player, while they are losing men, they haven't actually lost the building. The Russian general's still alive, and there's still these units who are actually moving forward here to help defend the building. So we could maybe see them hold the building. I mean, that building will have to hold for another 25 minutes in order for it to work out. But what do you got to do, I suppose? Yeah, the British player is really doing a good job of getting that side flank. It's too bad that they're anvil here, because the British are being the hammer right now, and the Prussians need to be that anvil. So having some trouble here. Got some getting ready to open fire here. I think there's charging going on. Looks like the French are trying to charge through the woods, but they're going to make them move slower though. That's what they want to do. Get a nice good close-up shot. Are they going to shoot? Well, I guess the British player is going to charge. Or the French player is actually routing. Okay. So we're getting some routing units from the French. The French should really just try and reform here. Looks like there is going to be a little bit of a battle right here of infantry. But, of course, the Prussian player is actually taking that one. Not going to let that happen, as you can see. This is a close battle, guys. It's pretty close. Because while the French might technically outnumber the British, which actually, not technically, they do, their units are really tired, they're really depleted. The British have a lot of healthy units. I mean, not a ton of healthy units, but more healthy units than the French do, I think. If we're talking about the health of the units alone. Looks like a unit did come back, though. And, oh, they're sitting in the building. They're going to be going the line. This unit could really spread out and cover more ground. Oh, don't walk your men in front of your own men. Okay, let's watch some British cat. Oh, no, never mind. What are they doing? Are they forming up in column? You don't need to. I mean, these units are marching in column, but again, you don't.
We have killed their general, sir.
It's a little unnecessary
now
here.
they must break.
Oh, maybe that actually does make sense because the French player is pulling back. Never mind, the French player is pulling back, so this British column formation to march isn't too bad, I suppose. Take them a little while to reform. How's this going? Russian player looks like they're actually losing ground. Maybe the Russian player should have put that unit inside this building. That might have been a smarter tactic. The Russian general is, of course, running around. No. The French got that 4-pointer, so that'll be 4 points. So I think France is definitely now, I think with that having happened, the fact that the British player is unable to send forces. Yeah, actually, this British player, just ignore this unit. Just ignore them. March into the building. That's your best bet if you want to actually try and win as the British player. Because all these guys, I'd say even all of them need to get moving. You need to take those 4-pointers. You need to take some buildings here. Because it doesn't matter how many units the British builds. This battle's almost unnecessary to continue looking at. It's almost more important to just see what's going on over here. Because right now the French, if you look at the map, the French player has 4 points, 5 points, 9 points, 10 points, and the British player is 0. Or the British Army, sorry. So, I mean, technically, technically, if the British marched all their men down this road and then cut straight, or actually marched back along the road, one down this side road. Somehow, if they somehow got troops over there, they could perhaps pull it off. Maybe sneak a unit into that one. I mean, it's not over, but the British are really gonna have to put the pedal to the metal to getting stuff done if they want to win this battle here. Or another way they could do it is just kill all the French. That would also ensure victory, regardless. That's the ultimate tiebreaker as well. It doesn't matter how many points you have. All the enemies. Keep it 0-0. Let's see the British players lining up the French. This is just ridiculous. Okay, will they get a volley off? It's kind of funny. I wonder if they will. Oh. I guess not. Huh, maybe the French player is actually breaking so much that, maybe they can actually take some points. The unit's now falling back, and I get it. That's why. Russian player is struggling here. British units are walking pretty darn slowly. Very tired though. Their units are not in the, feeling good to fight. The French player is kind of in the surround. I think they're trying to go for the British troops are going for the artillery. Are they running? Oh my god. They don't need to run. They are firing at will. Is Cavan going to actually destroy this British troop? Let's see. This unit doesn't seem to be firing. That's unfortunate. They perhaps have no target. But that'll surely silence that artillery. When these units actually getting out, not opening fire on the front. Oh, yeah, good job. Good job. Back to the British. It's kind of unnecessary for them to fire. I would heal away at least one unit, maybe the healthier unit, to go fight this battalion that's behind you. That's not good at all. We do have some more charging. Oh, taking some shots. That is pretty much going to shut down that unit pretty well. So this unit right here that's marching, just kind of more or less line them up. I think that's going to be a better bet on that road. Maybe at this kind of an angle here, like that. Do you a little bit better. And again over here. Nah, I'm not really surprised. Lots of charging. Ooh, good shots from the British though. Not bad. Legion looking quite nice. Again, lots of falling back.
Oui, monsieur.
Having a good charge coming out. Good melee charges, pretty good. I don't know what you guys think, but I like the way that the graphics look here in terms of the frame rate. I think this is the perfect setting actually for it. I think we found our sweet spot right here for this. So we got those first foot guards moving forward. I guess the British are going for a last hurrah. Why not? We'll go ahead that battle. Let's see the British player open fire, or not. They're just going to keep moving up. The artillery is going to fire. Oh, good hits on those troops. Good hits, good hits. Oh, it looks like some Prussian troops actually here shooting back. So hold on, the Prussians aren't out of this yet. Could help out. And there is 15 minutes left. I mean, look. It's not that hard for these battles to switch sides on who's going to win. Although, it is kind of rough when you have all these Prussian troops. Oh wow, these units actually managed to escape? Or they're going to shoot. I guess they're just reloading. Huh. Because all these troops are just kind of running away. I wonder why. Oh, sorry. I know why, because the Russians took the building? Right? No. No, the Russians are over here. I don't know what they're doing over there. Okay. So anyway, we have the Prussians here holding this flank. Again, I guess in terms of tactical reasons, this Prussian unit, oh, they are moving good. The unit from before who we saw kill stuff over there. They could be useful. 81 men, not too bad for a unit at this point in the battlefield. Over 50 is pretty good. British units. Shoot down that unit, make them rout. Now moving forward. The British player again charging. I guess they won't technically win if they don't charge, but that artillery is really going to make it hard for them to do anything. I looks like the Prussian player might be going for a last charge again. That's not going to be good. I'd only charge if you have either, 2 2-to-1 odds, or if you're flanking, you won't get shot at as you're charging the enemy. It's kind of my advice I would give. For example, if we were to reverse this and we say the French player wanted to charge, I'd say taking this unit, for example, swinging around and charging the back would be much better, for example, than whatever these guys are doing. Charging directly into the lines of the French guns, so French get some great shots on these Prussians while they charge in. Not to mention, that means they're not perfectly healthy, but certainly better than these men. So these men are just, their morale the way they are, and I don't see that as a good idea. Yep, and they're falling back. Not surprised at all. These British forces actually running again. Don't run your men. There's nothing to rush. Oh, actually, no, yeah, that makes sense. They're running the artillery. Will the artillery get a shot off? That should be hilarious. Or are these guys going to shoot them? Come on, I want to see him shoot. Do it, do it! Oh, what a dumb glitch. I wanted to see them shoot. That would have been awesome. Would have killed all of the enemy troops. And again, looks like the French player is now sending over some of its troops. Walking them actually with the road makes them look like they're running. So that's always fun. British player now being wiped out pretty well. Interesting, looks like some route... Oh, returning Austrians. Wow, so some Austrians actually coming around the back here, going to be able to take this 4-point building back. So that'll be, if they take it back, that'll be 4 points for the English team, and 4, 5, 6, 7 for the French team. Yeah. French team doing a good job here. Cleaning this up. Like, the charging is a little unnecessary, especially with these Prussian troops. I would say just shoot them to death. That's just personal preference though. But because these troops are in fact fairly healthy, opening fire is not necessarily... See, charging doesn't always work, guys. It doesn't always work. And now 15 minutes left in the game. Let's see if these troops line up. Or maybe they'll just charge. We could just have a massive amount of charging going on. It's not the end of the world if we want to charge. We're going to get some nice small line battle with these. Yeah, good shots. Good shots. Charging British now into the back of the French. Lots of French soldiers marching.
Our men are running, sir!
Moving forward. Bringing over the reserves now, that'll pretty much deal with that. These French units are actually holding off some of the British routing units. And now it's almost pretty much going to be cleaned up, I think. The Prussians and the British are, looks like they're trying to make a little bit of a stand here. In fact, they are moving out to those units, so that's kind of weird. I think, or the other way around. Getting lined up, getting ready for the last line battle here. Probably going to be the last line battle. Good shots from the French, actually. Very well done. He's getting some good double flanking. These units really should just move up. Just help end it faster. Because these British units are taking a good beating. They need to push up further. Yep, they're just getting shot at as they run forward. They're charging. I don't know what I would have done that actually. Getting a good charge right there. Instantly breaking the British. Are the Prussians going to do the last charge? I mean, it is their last unit, essentially. I would not even be surprised. Oh, no, they're lining up. They're lining up. The Prussians are going to do it. Different strategy than the British. The British going in for a charge. Yeah, they're going to shoot at their French. Forcing the French to retaliate. Fire with their own troops. Very well done by the French player. Opening fire. Good shot. And that'll be pretty much it, except for these forces over here. which I don't know if they necessarily realize is going on. However, there are some 72nd or 60 marching over this building, so I'm sure they must spot these Austrians by now. Moving forward, I can't believe there's still Austrians in the game. I would have thought the Austrians would have been the last ones alive for the coalition forces. Running now. Again, these points don't really matter. In fact, the French are actually gonna, I believe anyway, they're gonna start marching. Yeah, he's getting into column. He's getting ready to march out and head north. I believe, yeah. These units are marching now. Just to head over, just in case something goes wrong. But I feel like this building defense is gonna hold pretty well, even if they're not grenadiers, because those aren't grenadiers either, and they have no general nearby anyway. There is a general left with the coalition's team. Ooh, interesting. They're actually charging behind the building, so there won't be any shots. We can't go into the building. That's sad. Let's look to this side, I guess. Actually, they're starting to break. Oh. The French want total domination. They don't want anyone to beat them, even though there's 2 units of French in there. And this is the last unit of the Austrians, also already set to charge inside the building. But look at that. The Austrians are routing right there. And I guess this Russian general is moving up to charge at these French forces over here. May as well, right? May as well. Routing that unit and routing that unit. So I think that's gonna be game, guys. Pretty good. Tactically, I think that the Austrians, if they had just advanced and tried to wrap around faster, that would have changed the entire outcome of the battle, as well as the Prussians knowing to fall back a little bit sooner in order to make sure they stay linked up, and the Russians also making the mistake of not staying connected to their Austrian ally and getting themselves separated, left a big gap in the middle. And that was gonna, I think those main ones, because as soon as you have one army get defeated, you're gonna have a steamroll going across your entire flank. So you need to either be able to bolster that, or the incoming sweep round needs to be small enough that you can actually just repel it and move on. So of course, thank you to everyone who is in the game. Not quite sure who sent me the replay, but whoever, oh no, shoot, my mouse, stupid mouse. Whoever did send me in this replay, or put up this replay, just kind of a quick scroll of all your units there so you can see how you did, whoever is using that guy. You know, it's you. Anyway, good job to all the players. As always, I'm Elwirfy, and I'll see you guys next time. Hello, YouTube! I'm Elwirfy, and today we're playing some more Napoleon Total War 3, coming at you with a 4 versus 4. We have the French alliance here, all French, as you can see. And of course, it's the start of the game, so there's going to be a little bit of lag, as always. We have the French army fighting against the British, the Prussians, the Austrians, and one of the Russians, the 1812 Russia. Very, very nice indeed. Now, if you can't tell already, I've reduced the graphics on my computer, so hopefully we'll have better FPS as the unit starts to spread out and aren't all clumped up in the middle. And hopefully that's okay, and the video is good for you to look at, because obviously if you don't like the look of it when I zoom in and I get the close-ups, I can try boosting it back up, although just again expect there to be some FPS drops. Personally, I prefer to play, because I don't really care about graphics too much, I'd rather play, you know, heck, I'll even do the lowest of settings. This is medium right now, you're looking at medium settings, and then just go ahead and have a good smooth running game. In my opinion, that's a better experience, but of course that might change again. This is very spammy because all the troops here from the French being piled up in the center. Very very annoying indeed. and this is going to be from the perspective of the French. I have not seen this battle replay. This is all brand new to me, so I don't know who's going to win, who's going to lose. But as you can see, this is actually a fairly small map, as we have, you know, some sappers already in position with their stakes lined up, and we have some. Ooh, the Mamelukes. They're actually going to go ahead and intercept these sappers. They can form square though, so actually that might not be a good target. Now, can they shoot? Are these the rifled horsemen? I'm not too sure. But if they are the rifled horsemen, I go ahead and
This
shoot
building
them.
has fallen to the enemy.
Yep, but it looks like those sappers are getting inside. This is going to be a very quick battle, I think, because everyone's already fighting. Yep, we have the Russian sappers shooting at those horsemen. Not really killing anyone necessarily, but that's okay. And we do have some scouting horsemen, the Mamelukes again, being hunted down by the Hussars from the Austrians. I don't know, the game looks fairly good for a good FPS. It's a fair trade. Yeah. Alright, so the French Mamelukes are going to be routed off. Again, I hate cavalry, guys. It just pisses me off. But now we do have the Austrian Hussars also coming out. Looks like a lot of the Russian cav now moving in to try and intercept this cav. Although it does sound like these guys do have guns. Oh wait, no, that's the lights inside the building who are also opening fire. So these troops are very out of position. They got to just run away, I think. I don't know why they're losing. Oh, maybe because those horsemen came back. Oh, and we do have a countercharge coming in. Partly because we have some more cavalry from the French coming in on this side here. Get a nice charge on those Austrians. So that should wipe out that cavalry. Yep. And then now these guys now hopefully regaining morale as more cavalry moves to the front of the battlefield. Although these guys are quite vulnerable to these shots coming from the building. This is, of course, going to be based on command points, and as I've been talking to people, the game will almost always end in a draw for these ones, and we'll have to do the math on who's winning on our own. So, as you can see, the Austrian forces are now lining up their troops, and looks like they're going to be ready to just start shooting away these cav. But not to fear for the French side, because the French are also moving up troops fairly quickly. Now, the French haven't actually captured any buildings, but apparently, as I'm learning about this game, getting more experience with it, you don't actually have to take the building. If it's behind enemy lines, it's presumed to be yours. I think that's, unless you're doing a tournament, in which case in a tournament, I believe you do have to have a unit inside the building. So, some clarification there, so that way you guys understand what's going on, and hopefully understand what the actual intentions are of the players themselves. And as you can see, as all of the Austrians are beginning to line up, we are getting some more units being revealed to us, more specifically the British cavalry. On this side, the 6th Dragoons, those guys are pretty good. Pretty good unit. Again, I think a lot of this battle is going to be overhead battle looking anyway, just because of the graphical fidelity. I'd rather look at the overall tactics. So you can see these Dragoons now moving into position. This kind of clumped up. I kind of spread these cav out because they're going to get stuck on each other. Now, oh, what's this? Oh wait, no, that's infantry. I thought the cavalry was gonna, do something kind of dumb, but never mind. It looks like these flankers, chasseurs from the French are gonna go ahead and get into position to maybe take this house, or they're just setting up on this hill, because as you can see, there's a little bit of a hill here, so it could be good. Unless, of course, oh, it looks like this was actually abandoned. I'm sorry about that. I guess that was abandoned apparently, or not. Gunshots. Oh, there is. Okay, they just had to get pretty darn close to the building. Now we can see the Russian Jaegers that are in there. But it looks like the flankers are moving up. They might even just open fire on this building. I haven't decided yet if it's easier to kill a unit inside a building by charging in or shooting, under the assumption you have the option of one or the other. I assume it just depends on the melee stats of the unit that you're engaging, which you can only find out so much. It looks like they're doing some damage though, so we'll see how that goes. I know 100 men versus 42, and don't worry about the sound. The sound should be okay. Looks like they're actually coming out of the building, so it's a very interesting choice. Either that or some units tried to run into the building. No, it looks like they're coming out. Okay. Oh, looks like we have a bit of a cav engagement over here. Got some good hits. Oh, there was a loss of the French cav, but Prussian cav will trade, no problem. And as our sound fails us again today in this battle replay. Also, I don't know what version of the mod is, so this could be a little bit older, just as a fair warning. Alright, looks like they're loading up. What are they going to shoot at, though? Looks like they're going to shoot their own men. Artillery makes no sense at all. Oh no, they're limbering up. They're actually limbering. They're going to get into position to move the artillery piece. Anyway, let's head back over to this building fight. Yeah, as you can see inside there, again, the sound is cutting out a bit, so a little bit unfortunate there, probably because shooting and the guns isn't going to be perfect. Again, we got a cav stalemate, but the Austrians are, of course, pushing forward their troops. Makes sense, because the cavalry's really no match for them. A lot of these Austrian units will be able to form square. Actually, this side is particularly weak. They can't form square over here, so this might actually be a good place for the cavalry to charge in. And while the Russians are, and the British, actually, both armies moving forward here with their troops. You know, you got King's German Legion, and you have the Grenadiers, Pavlovsk. So these are the really good Grenadiers from Russia also, so we should expect to see some good shots. Yes, and it is a sound glitch, so I'm actually going to go ahead and reload the game so that way everything works out just fine.